Lesson 4.3, Partitioning Rectangles. The focus in this lesson is for you to be able to solve a problem about floor tiling. You're going to consider various methods for finding area. You're going to be introduced to a multiplication strategy based on partitioning a rectangle. And then I'm going to have you work with a partner to model and solve multiplication problems by partitioning rectangles. But first, let's start with our mental math and fluency. Reading large numbers such as these in expanded form, I want you to be able to record them on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard and then bring them back to me when you are done. So write this number down in standard notation. Next, write this number down in standard notation. And finally, write this number down in standard notation. Don't forget there are math posters all around the room if you forget what standard notation is to remind you. Pause the recording now, write them, and then bring it up to me when you're ready. Floor tiling. This is going to be a math journal, page 111. So pause the recording and get it open to page 111. It reads, Maya wants to lay tile on a floor that is 8 feet wide by 24 feet long. The tiles she wants to use are 1 square foot each. How many tiles will Maya need? Draw a picture to represent Maya's floor. Well, if Maya wants to lay tile on a floor that is 8 feet wide, I would draw it that each foot square is a foot. So this would be 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. And then I have it 24 feet long. So I would draw it 24 feet. Remember, it even says it's going to be a rectangle. So it needs to look like a rectangle, like a room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Again, I'm trying to follow the lines as best as I can draw it here. That would represent Maya's floor. So how many tiles will Maya need? Well, I could count all the tiles in here, or I can multiply. Remember our formula is length times width equals area. So we had 24 times 8 will give me my area, or how many tiles I'll need. I do the ones place first. 8 times 4 is 32. Just like adding, the last number goes down and I carry the next number to the next column. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3, 17, 18, 19. So how many tiles is she going to need? She is going to need 192. Pause the recording at any time if I am talking too fast or going through this problem too quickly for you. Remember, another way you could have done it is you could have wrote the number 24 down 8 times and added it, or you could have written down the number 8 24 times, but hopefully you've noticed that that would take a lot longer to do and you have a bigger chance of errors that way too. I want you to complete Math Journal, page 11. Explain how you figured out how many tiles you needed. Based on what I said, you may have to rewind the recording to listen once again to my explanation so that you can write that in words. When you are finished, turn the recording back on and continue on with this lesson. So Jacob rode his bike 4 miles a day for 39 days. How many miles did he ride in all? Well, if he went 4 miles for 39 days, that means he had a total of 39 days, and we would multiply that by 4. Again, we always start with the ones place. 4 times 9 is 36. The 6 gets written down. The 3 gets carried over. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. So how many miles did he ride in all? He rode 156 miles. Now remember, another way you could have done that is you could have written 39 down 4 times, and added them. Or you could have written 4 down 39 times and came up with the same answer. But here again, that makes a bigger chance of error. Refer to this example as you complete the following screens. So as you look at this, you will see 4 times 57. What they're doing here is they're breaking the number 57 apart. They're breaking it into the first number, which, as we say, it is 50. So they made this 50. And then the 7 that's in the ones place is in a separate box. Both of those got to be multiplied by the 4. So they're setting it up this way. So first you take 4 times 50, and in the box you would have written 200. Then you would have taken 4 times 7, and in the box you would have written 28. Then you would have taken 200 plus 28 to get to 28. This is just another way to come up with your answer for finding a larger multiplication problem if we were looking at area. Partitioning rectangles. That's exactly what you did right here. You partitioned it. You put it into parts. So now you're going to do the same thing in your math journal on page 112. Page 112 is an assessment check-in. So you're going to want to make sure that you look at problem 1, see how it's done, and try to duplicate it for the rest of your examples. So notice that this is 5 times 48. Problems 1 through 4 are the assessment check. So I want you to be able to just look back at this example and then complete this page. Pause the recording now and please do those pages for me. When you complete those pages, we're going to move on. Make sure that you checked in with me so I can check off whether you understood it or not, or whether I had to do further explanation. Why do you think it helps you to decompose the numbers into place value parts when partitioning the rectangle? It's kind of a practical way to break apart your numbers, and it helps you to kind of not have so much in your head at one time. So the equations inside the rectangles help you to understand where the numbers come from. That's why. It just helps to clarify it more for you. So this is looking at one of the games that we will be playing, Factor Captor, or have played in the past. So now it's asking you to write 2 equivalent fractions for each fraction below. Use your fraction circles if you need to. This is Math Journal page 113. So pause the recording now, do the math box page 113, and then bring it back to me so I can check to see if there was anything that you have forgotten or you need extra practice with or help with, and then you can turn the recording back on to finish the final page for this lesson. Pause the recording now, please. I would have checked this page with you. That was just a quick peek of what the page looked like. And now for the final part of this lesson, you are going to be looking at partitioning rectangles again. You will find Math Masters page 150 in 4-3 file. You are to complete this page, reviewing again the skill that we practiced and was most focused on in this lesson. When you've completed it, bring it to me. I will check it quickly and make sure that you understand what you're doing. That's the end of lesson 4-3. Thank you.